Love and transit. They intersect more often than you might think. And there is perhaps no greater public transportation love story than the one that gave Pittsburgh its two surviving inclines. Since Valentine's Day is tomorrow, I figured this would be a good time to tell it. You see, in the mid-1800s, the city of Pittsburgh was booming. Industries lined the flat banks of the city's three rivers, and more workers were flocking to the city. But this created a problem. Pittsburgh has limited flat land, most of which had already been taken up by factories at this point. So the workers had to live on the city's many hills, notably the gargantuan Mount Washington, rising straight up from the south side of the Monongahela and Ohio rivers. Up on top, the air was cleaner than the sooty riverfront, and there was plenty of land to work with. But the only way to get up and down the hill was a steep, muddy path. As German migrant laborers trudged up and down the mountain every day, they remembered that back home, engineers had come up with innovative transit solutions for similarly steep hills. Could Pittsburgh perhaps do the same? Prussian-born civil engineer John Endress of Cincinnati, Ohio, was hired to solve the problem. Endress had previously worked in mining, helping design coal and freight elevators. These would feature two cars of equal weight, placed on parallel, sloped tracks, and connected with a steel cable, which would be moved using a steam engine at the top. Endress knew that this technology could work for passengers as well, and thus he began work on Pittsburgh's first incline. John was joined on the project by his daughter Caroline. Historians actually wonder if she was his daughter at all. If the death notices printed for John in 1889 are to be believed, he would have only been in his mid to late 20s when he built the Monongahela incline, and thus, Caroline would have had to have been his sister. Regardless, Caroline, or Carrie as she was known, was one of America's first female civil engineers, educated in Europe and trained personally by her father, or brother. As she designed the incline from a hotel office in downtown Pittsburgh, onlookers would gather to watch her work, intrigued by the curiosity of a female civil engineer. At last, on May 28, 1870, the brand new Monongahela incline opened to passengers. It rose 367 feet up the side of Mount Washington at a 35-degree angle, while traveling along a 635-foot track. And it was an instant hit, initially charging 6-cent fares and leading to the rapid population of Mount Washington. Various pieces of the mechanism were replaced over the years, with the original wooden tracks being swapped out for steel, an electric motor replacing the original steam engine, and the lower station being rebuilt. Still, the Endress' incline continues to operate to this day.
Riders should take the 40 Mount Washington bus from Smithfield Street to access Simon Street shops.
Well, it will be open at some point, since it remains a vital transportation link for this city. But there was more than convenient public transportation in the air when the Mon began operation. You see, the Endress duo had a brilliant assistant by the name of Samuel Disher. Samuel took a liking to Caroline, and the two were married in 1872. Caroline's father would move on from Pittsburgh to other cities around the country, helping to construct an elevated cable car system for Hoboken, New Jersey. But the new Mr. and Mrs. Disher chose to make Pittsburgh their home, where they raised 6 children, 3 of whom became engineers. Caroline seems to have retired from engineering after her marriage, but Samuel had a long career ahead of him. Just a bit down the river from the Monongahela incline lay a stretch of land that had been rejected for the initial project. Disher's team got to work here, and opened the Duquesne Incline in 1877. Originally designed for freight, it is now preserved for tourists, and its bright red cars remain iconic symbols of Pittsburgh to this day. Plenty of people know the Monongahela and Duquesne Inclines as tourist attractions, novel modes of transit offering grandiose views for an affordable rate. But not as many people know the historical romantic subplot that ties the two of them together. If you have a Samuel or Caroline in your life, be sure to let them know how much you appreciate them. Who knows? Maybe you'll fix urban transportation needs together. Huge shout out to my Patreon supporters for making this video happen. You are the Duquesne to my Monongahela. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stick around for more transit-related nonsense.